Hey everyone, so I'm making this video for you guys who are probably going to take the aptitude test in order to become an electrician for trade school. And you guys may be freaking out like, oh my god, I forgot how to do math, or I was bad at math in high school, or it's been X many years since I have done math. And I know some of you guys are freaking out because when I took my aptitude test, there were some people like, oh my god, I forgot, it's been years since I've done this, I was bad at math. And let's be honest, there's going to be people watching this video who are just like the scenarios I just presented. And the reason why I'm making this video, guys, is in order to help you guys. You know, I passed my math test. It only took me one try. For me, it was very easy. But I know others struggle, and that's why I'm making this video, so you guys could pass the math test in order to become an electrician. Alright, so without further ado, I want to get started. And the test is going to be a lot of basic algebra. It's nothing like trig, it's nothing like calculus, it's just flat out high school algebra. But for you guys who forgot, I'm going to go over some questions with you guys. And these are questions that I had on my math test, or questions that were kind of similar. And I'm going to be going based off of what my test was. I'm not sure if every trade school does the same test. I'm not sure if how they're going to vary by how much. But hopefully my experience will be able to help you guys. That way when you go taking your test, you're not freaking out. So the first thing I want you guys to know is this, PANDAS. Do you remember this? Do you remember what it stands for? And this is our order of operations. And what it stands for is powers, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. This is the order that we do our order of operations. So if you're given a formula, you need to be able to know, hey, do I multiply first? Do I add first? Do I divide first? And if you know your PANDAS and you look at your formula or your problem, if there's a power, you do the power first. If there's an exponent, you do the exponent second. And it's going to vary based off of your problem that you have. So if there is no powers and exponents, you go right away into multiplication. Now the next thing you need to know, this falls back on the order of operations. If you're given a formula and it's like 3 squared times 2 plus 5 minus negative 2, know how to work that problem. I don't even know what I just said, but just know how to work out a problem like that. Know that you have to do the powers first, and then I don't know what I said, and just be able to solve stuff like that. But sometimes you're going to be given a question and it's going to look like this: where are the numbers? And they may give you like T is this, R is this, S is this. They may tell you what these letters represent, what numbers they're going to represent. If so, you plug in the numbers and find the answer. But sometimes they're not going to, as you go on with the test, it gets harder and harder. And they're not going to give you a certain letter. So you may know what every letter is except for one. For instance, like, let's go with this question. So let's say they give you this and they want to know what is X. They give you what Z is, they give you what Y is, they give you what S is. So you just plug in the numbers that you know and you just continue on as if it was nothing. Just plug it in, work it out, and your goal is try to get X by itself so you can find out what X is. But sometimes they're going to want to know what X equals, and they don't care what the numbers are, they just want to know what does X equal for this. So we're going to go over this question, and it may take a few minutes, but I hope that you guys understand how to do this. So if they want to know what X is, how do we solve this problem? And remember, we're trying to get X by itself, so that means we have to get everything else either onto the left or the right side. And for us, it's going to be easier if we just put everything on the left, because X is already on this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply X minus Y by Z. And that is going to give me let's see, I'm trying to keep it covered. That's going to give me this. So z times x minus z times y equals s. Okay, that's a good step. Now what do we do? And what we're going to do next is we're going to subtract, or let's see, we're going to add zy to both sides. And that will give us, let's see, I'm trying to keep it covered. That's going to give us this. So if we add zy to both sides, that eliminates this one, but we have to move zy over there. And just know that what you do on the left side, you have to do on the right side as well, and vice versa. So that gives us z times x equals s plus z times y. We're almost there. We almost have x by itself, but in order to do that, we have to divide both sides by z. And then that will eliminate this z right here and get x by itself. So what comes next is x equals s plus z times y over z. And that may be the question they're looking for, or that may be the answer. It depends based on what the question is asking you guys. So just know how to change your formulas and to make it tell you what you want it to tell you, or what they want you to tell you. Just know how to do that, guys. It's a big thing. And I would say majority of the questions were kind of like that. So know how to do that, guys, and know your order of operations. And for those of you guys who are about to take the test and you're freaking out like, oh my god, how do I study? What do I study? Go on Khan Academy, just watch some videos. And I would suggest doing this at least weeks in advance. Don't wait the night before. Or if you know like a high school teacher that maybe keep in touch with one, maybe you have a friend who's a teacher, just contact them. Or maybe you're a parent, you have a child who is taking algebra. That would be a good time, like, hey, what are you studying? Or hey, can I see a math book because I'm trying to brush up on my skills. And you know what, worst case scenario, you go to Half Price Books, you buy a math book, and don't feel dumb, guys, just buy the math book and learn. You could also go to community college to learn, guys. These are just different ways to like open yourself up to math. That way you guys know how to do this aptitude test and that you guys could pass to become an electrician. Alright, and another thing I want to say, guys, if you're having issues while you're taking the test, and you're like, oh my god, I don't know this question, I don't know how to do it, just skip it. That's my advice. Skip it and come back to it later if you have time. Because you may remember like, oh, this is how I do this. Or you might work on another problem and it like, maybe it leads you on like, hey, this is how I do this problem, so this is how I do this problem. You don't know, just skip it if you're having a hard time and continue on, guys, because we're trying to pass a test. And speaking of skipping questions, when I was taking my test, I remember this question specifically right here because I looked at the answers and I'm like, oh my god, what is it asking me? And I just had a brain fart, I knew how to do it, but I didn't know how to do it at that minute. But when I went back and I went to the questions I didn't know, I'm like, oh, this is how you do it. And the way this question was, there's 4 answers, only one is correct. And it was giving me stuff like P times G equals R times M. Is that correct? Or it was like P times M equals G times R. Is that correct? And the way I solved this problem specifically, you multiply both sides by G. This eliminates the fraction here. And then you multiply both sides by M. That eliminates the fraction over here. So then you get P times M equals G times R. And sometimes you just have to come back to a question later and it makes sense. And that was my case. And another thing that kind of crept up on me that I didn't know was going to be in the test, and that is graphs and charts. You need to be able to read them. You need to be able to read another chart. And is this a chart the same as this chart? And there was like 5 or 4 questions on my test that had nothing but charts. And what it was asking for was for me to represent that chart in another way. So for instance, the questions or the answers they gave me, one was a formula, one was a chart table, which looks kind of like this for those who don't know. There was another graph, and there was another one, I don't remember what it was, but basically they want you to represent the chart that's given in another way. Or is this chart the same as this chart? So if they give you a chart, you have to be able to plug in the numbers into the formula and see, does it equal what the answer gives you? If so, great job. If not, then that's not the right answer, obviously. But I will say this, if it's correct for one number, just plug in another number to make sure it's correct for the second number. And if both numbers are correct, there's a huge chance that it's going to be the right answer. But as far as the chart tables go, just be able to read, okay, if X is this, Y is this, is it the same as a graph? And as far as the other chart, what was kind of tricky was, for instance, let's say you have a graph like this, or a chart. You see how that slope is, it's going up? There was another one in my answers, and the slope kind of went up like this, but it was the same exact answer as what the chart was. It was just a smaller version of that chart with different numbers. Alright guys, so hopefully this video helps you out. You know, if you have any problems, if you have a question, if you need me to explain something better, or you have a formula you can't work out, or a question, just leave it down below in the comment box. And hopefully me or other viewers could help you with this question and let you know how to do it, because I want to see you guys pass this test. I know when I was taking my test, there was this guy, and it was the second time, and I felt so sorry for him, because let's be honest, I know he didn't pass the math, and he's trying and trying, and I even told him, I'm like, hey, do you need help with studying math? And he's like, oh, it's kind of too late. But I'm like, yeah, but next time, you know, because I knew what was happening. I knew he wasn't going to pass. And if you don't pass the test, guys, this is important to know. If you fail a test, you can't take the test until 6 months later. So if you're planning on becoming an electrician and you fail a test, guess what? You have to wait 6 months. So if you pass this test, you can move on in the application, you go on to the interview. This is what I want to see you guys go. I want to see you guys do that interview. I want to see you guys pass this test and, you know, conquer math, because I know it could be kind of scary for some of you guys. So thanks for watching, guys. Good luck, and I'll see you guys on another video. Till then, bye.